Well, I want to talk about this news about LA Knight. And I wanted to talk about it because I like that Shawn Michaels stood up for LA Knight when he was in NXT. So Wrestle Purists posted this just like a snippet of an interview that HBK did with ESPN, and he revealed that LA Knight was on the cut list multiple times when he was in NXT, and that Shawn would say that he couldn't be released. So, like every time it was brought up, it was like, no, he can't be released because he's in an active storyline. He can't be released. Like he's too involved in this and that. And fortunately, it worked because it didn't happen. And of course, like it had been speculated, Vince had the issue with his age, which I just think is so wild because I'm like, you've brought back so many other stars that were like not much younger or around the same age. Like, if they had if Vince was around, I wouldn't be surprised if he did bring back CM Punk. CM Punk's 45 years old. Like, you cannot tell me
Yeah,
that
or he
like you
would
wouldn't have done that, or like why do you still have Bobby Lashley around? It's because he doesn't look like he's his age. So it's like it's such a silly thing. So he there is a quote here that he said, when people say a WWE guy or a Vince guy, he was effing it. I was trying to tell them, lose the 3-8. He never looked to me like he had any mileage on him. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Shawn Michaels because obviously he's a good evaluator of talent and could understand that age was not a factor when it came to LA Knight. And of course, that's just ridiculous anyway, because throughout the history of wrestling, guys have gotten into WWE, especially at that age where they were like closer to 40. I mean, they were having Ric Flair wrestle matches when he was 50 something years
yeah.
old. Like, stop telling, like, I mean, I get like it's a little bit different, but like, let's not say, oh, once you hit a certain age, you can't be a performer because of your age. Like, that's not a
Hmm.
thing. So I'm just really glad to hear that, other than what we believed was like, okay, no, it was like his work ethic and all of this, and like his attitude and his willingness to do whatever it took to stay with the company. Like, it wasn't just that, like he did have internal support, which I think is cool because and the fact that Vince listened to it, I think is says a lot too, even if he
Yeah,
did mess him up by making him Max Dupree. But
he
you
at
know
least listened to it.
yeah.
That's all you can do. He did screw it up because did not have a hand on the pulse. And the current state of wrestling, really, and we can kind of expand this to just professional sports in general, that age doesn't really matter. Okay. It's just a number. It's all about really how healthy and uh, ready to go you are, and how
Mhm.
well you look, how well you train, all of that. There's no restriction like it was years ago. I mean, the Bobby Lashley is the best example.
Well, there's even others though. Randy Orton is still up there. Damian Priest didn't get a
Damian Priest is in
push
his mid
until
forties.
yeah, like, no, I think he's just like 40, 41. But still, like, he didn't get a push until he was nearly 40. Finn Balor is finally getting like the amount of time that he should be, and he's 45. Like, AJ Styles is still up there, and no one's sitting there. Rey Mysterio, like, no one's sitting there and being like, oh, these dudes all look their age.
Gotta
They
go.
shouldn't be around. They should be fired. No one's saying that. And if anybody had said to you, like, when you first saw LA Knight, that he was 37, 38, 39 years old, you wouldn't believe them.
Yeah, that's
And
what
even
it
then, I think
doesn't
it's like,
matter.
I think that there's I don't know how to describe it. It's like there's these embedded beliefs that I think that we have about certain ages and like what's appropriate, or like
Mm.
someone at this age needs to be in this spot whereas someone older shouldn't be. Like, it's just in our mind that like once you hit 35, like life is on a decline. You know what I mean? That's like, once
Yeah,
you're 35, you can't be an athlete, you got to retire. And it's like, yeah, in certain sports that's true. When it comes to like football, like 35 is old, or basketball, like, yeah, 35 is old. Someone's 38 and be like, "Oh, yeah, maybe he's kind of old." And it's like, but it's not. I don't know, it's just not the same, and I'm just glad that Shawn Michaels stood up for him enough that he's still around now, you know?